Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, September 20th, 2021. Today we're going to recap yesterday's NFL Week 2 games, look ahead to tonight's Monday night game. We'll recap college football from the weekend, Major League Baseball, WNBA, Major League Soccer, golf, NASCAR news and notes. The season premiere of Dancing with the Stars is tonight, so we will preview the show and talk about the upcoming season and my best bet of the day. All right, we will start with the NFL, obviously. We'll go over all the results from yesterday. And here we go. The Bears over the Bengals, 20-17. The Bears are 1-1. Cincinnati 1-1. Justin Fields came in for the injured Andy Dalton. 6-13, 60 yards and an interception. And then Andy Dalton, before he got hurt, 9 of 11, 56 yards and a touchdown pass. And then Joe Burrow, 19-30, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Browns over the Texans, 31-21, survivable pick is still alive. Cleveland 1-1, Houston 1-1, Baker Mayfield, 19-21, 213 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Tyrod Taylor, 10 of 11, 125 yards, and a touchdown. And he was hurt out of the game for a little bit. And then Davis Mills came in 8 of 18, 102 yards, a touchdown, the pick. Rams over the Colts, 27-24. The Rams 2-0, the Colts 0-2. Matt Stafford, 19-30, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, the pick. Carson Wentz, 20-31, 247 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Bills over the Dolphins, 35-0. An impressive win for Buffalo. They're 1-1. Miami's 1-1. Josh Allen, 17-33, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, to the pick. Jacoby Brissett coming in for the injured Tua Tagovailoa, 24 of 40, 169 yards and a pick. And then Tua 1 of 4, 13 yards. Patriots over the Jets, 25-6. The Patriots 1-1, the Jets 0-2. Mac Jones, 22-30, 166 yards. Zach Wilson, 19-33, 210 yards and 4 interceptions. 49ers over the Eagles, 17-11. San Fran 2-0, Philly 1-1. Jimmy Garoppolo, 22-30, 189 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts, 12 of 23, 190 yards. Raiders over the Steelers, 26-17. The Raiders 2-0, Pittsburgh 1-1. Derek Carr, 28-37, 382 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ben Roethlisberger, 27-40, 295 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Panthers over the Saints, 26-7. The Panthers are 2-0. The Saints are 1-1. Sam Darnold, 26-38, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Jameis Winston, 11-22, 111 yards and 2 picks. Broncos over the Jaguars, 23-13. The Broncos are 2-0. Jacksonville 0-2. Teddy Bridgewater, 26-34, 328 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, 14-33, 118 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The Cardinals over the Vikings, 34-33. Cardinals 2-0, Vikings 0-2. Kyler Murray, 29-36, 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Kirk Cousins, 22-32, 244 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Buccaneers over the Falcons, 48-25. The Bucs 2-0, Atlanta 0-2. Tom Brady, 24-36, 276 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Matt Ryan, 35-46, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Cowboys over the Chargers, 2017, on a game-winning field goal at the end by Greg Zuerlein. Cowboys 1-1, LA 1-1. Dak Prescott, 27, 237 yards and a pick. Justin Herbert, 31-41, 338 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Titans over the Seahawks, 33-30 in overtime on a game-ending kick by Randy Bullock. Titans 1-1, Seattle 1-1. Ryan Tannehill, 27-40, 347 yards. Russell Wilson, 22-31, 343 yards and 2 touchdowns. By the way, Derrick Henry on the ground, 35 carries, 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. And last but not least, the Ravens over the Chiefs, 36-35 on Sunday Night Football. Baltimore 1-1, KC 1-1. So Lamar finally gets a win over Mahomes. 18-26, 239 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks, and 16 of 107 with 2 touchdowns for Lamar. And Patrick Mahomes, 24-31, 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. And now we look ahead to tonight, 8:15 on ESPN between the Lions and the Packers. I project the Packers by 15.5, total 57.5. Meanwhile, on FanDuel right now, it is 12.5, or now, my bad, 11.5, and 48.5. The podcast play is going to be the over. I love the over. I think Detroit has a lot of garbage time potential, as we saw last week against the Niners. And I think the Green Bay offense will bounce back against a much worse Lions defense, and at home. And maybe the Saints over the Packers was one of the flukiest results of week 1, and will end up being one of the flukiest results of the year, because look how bad the Saints looked yesterday. So I love the bad loss home team the home team coming off a bad loss, and the road team coming off a moral victory of some sort. So give me the Packers to win the game, but the podcast play is going to be over 48.5, and the second play will be the minus 11.5 for the Green Bay Packers. And over 48.5 is the final play of the NFL Week 2 Fab 5. All right, now we'll go over the college football results from the weekend, as we will start with Friday night. Louisville upsets UCF 42-35. Louisville 2-1, UCF 2-1. Maryland over Illinois 2017. Maryland 3-0, Illinois 1-3. Saturday, number 3 Oklahoma over Nebraska 23-16. Nebraska drops to 2-2. Oklahoma 3-0. Number 7 Texas A&M over New Mexico 34-0. A&M 3-0. New Mexico 2-1. Number 8 Cincinnati over Indiana 38-24. Cincinnati 3-0. Indiana 1-2. West Virginia defeats number 15 Virginia Tech 27-21. West Virginia 2-1. Virginia Tech 2-1. Number 16 Coastal Carolina over Buffalo 28-25. Coastal 3-0. Buffalo 1-2. Michigan State over number 24 Miami 38-17. Michigan State 3-0. Miami 1-2. Number 25 Michigan over Northern Illinois 63-10. Michigan 3-0. Northern Illinois 1-2. Kentucky over Chattanooga 28-23. Kentucky 3-0. Nuga 1-2. Missouri over Southeast Missouri State 59-28. Mizzou 2-1 and Southeast Mizzou 0-3. Tennessee over Tennessee Tech 56-0. Tennessee 2-1 and Tech 0-3. Western Michigan upsets Pitt 44-41. Western Michigan 2-1. Pitt 2-1. Syracuse over Albany 62-24. Syracuse 2-1. Alabama 0-3. Boston College over Temple 28-3. Boston College 3-0. Temple 1-2. Army over UConn 52-21. Army 3-0. UConn 0-4. Minnesota over Colorado 30-0. Minnesota 2-1. Colorado 1-2. Kansas State over Nevada 38-17. Kansas State 3-0. Nevada 2-1. Number 12 Notre Dame over Purdue 27-13. Notre Dame 3-0. Purdue 2-1. Number 1 Alabama over number 11 Florida 31-29. Bama 3-0. Florida 2-1. Number 5 Iowa over Kent State 30-7. Iowa 3-0. Kent State 1-2. Number 9 Ohio State over Tulsa 41-20. Ohio State 2-1. Tulsa 0-3. SMU over Louisiana Tech 39-37. SMU 3-0. Louisiana Tech 1-2. Rutgers over Delaware 45-13. Rutgers 3-0. Delaware 2-1. Eastern Michigan over UMass 42-28. Eastern Michigan 2-1. UMass 0-3. Baylor over Kansas 45-7. Baylor 3-0. Kansas 1-2. Miami of Ohio over LIU 42-7. Miami 1-2. LIU 0-3. Akron over Bryant 35-14. Akron 1-2. Bryant 1-2. App State over Alon 44-10. App State 2-1. Alon 1-2. Oregon State over Idaho 42-zip. Oregon State 2-1. Idaho 1-2. USC over Washington State 45-14. Their first game without Clay Helton. USC 2-1. Washington State 1-2. Wake over Florida State 35-14. Wake 3-0. FSU 0-3. Number 6, Clemson over Georgia Tech, 14-8. Clemson 2-1, Georgia Tech 1-2. Number 20, Arkansas over Georgia Southern, 45-10. Arkansas State 3-0, Georgia State Southern 1-2. Memphis over Mississippi State, 31-29. Memphis 3-0, Mississippi State 2-1. Duke over Northwestern, 30-23. Duke 2-1, Northwestern 1-2. Wyoming over Ball State, 45-12. Wyoming 3-0, Ball State 1-2. Colorado State over Toledo, 22-6. Colorado State 1-2, Toledo 1-2. Cal over Sacramento State, 42-30. Cal 1-2, Sacramento State 1-2. Washington over Arkansas State, 52-3. Washington 1-2, Arkansas State 1-2. Bowling Green over Murray State, 27-10. Bowling Green 1-2, Murray State 1-2. UTSA over Middle Tennessee, 27-13. UTSA 3-0, Middle Tennessee 1-2. FA over Fordham, 45-14. FA 2-1, Fordham 0-3. Eastern Carolina over Marshall, 42-38. East Carolina 1-2, Marshall 2-1. As that was my lone Fab 5 loss of the week in college football. Liberty over Old Dominion, 45-17. Liberty 3-0, Old Dominion 1-2. Georgia State over Charlotte, 29. Georgia State 1-2, Charlotte 2-1. Texas Tech over FIU, 54-21. FIU drops to 1-2. Texas Tech 3-0. Troy over Southern Miss, 21-9. Troy 2-1. USM 1-2. Houston over Grambling, 45-0. Houston 2-0. Grambling 1-2. South Florida over Florida A&M, 38-17. USF 1-2. A&MU 1-2. Incarnate Word over Texas State, 42-34. Texas State 1-2. UIW 2-1. San Diego State over Utah, 33-31 in triple overtime. As San Diego State's 3-0, Utah 1-2. Number 2, Georgia over South Carolina, 40-13. Georgia 3-0, South Carolina 2-1. Number 4, Oregon over Stony Brook, 48-7. Oregon 3-0, Stony Brook 1-2. Number 10, Penn State over number 22, Auburn, 28-20. Penn State 3-0, Auburn 2-1. LSU over Central Michigan, 49-21. LSU 2-1. Central Michigan 1-2. UAB over North Texas, 40-6. UAB 2-1. North Texas 1-2. NC State over Furman, 45-7. NC State 2-1. Furman 2-1. Utah State over Air Force, 49-45. Utah State 3-0. Air Force 2-1. Number 21, North Carolina over Virginia, 59-39. UNC 2-1. Virginia 2-1. Number 17, Ole Miss over Tulane, 61-21. Ole Miss 3-0. Tulane 1-2. Stanford over Vandy, 41-23. Stanford 2-1. Vandy 1-2. Texas over Rice, 58-0. Texas 2-1. Rice 0-3. Yale Monroe over Jackson State, 12-7. Yale Monroe 1-1. Jackson State 2-1. South Alabama over Alcorn State, 28-21. USA 3-0. Alcorn 1-2. New Mexico State over SC State, 43-35. New Mexico State 1-3. South Carolina State 0-3. Oklahoma State over Boise State, 21-20. Oklahoma State 3-0. Boise 1-2. Northern Arizona upsets Arizona 21-19. Northern Arizona 1-2. Arizona 0-3. Number 23, BYU over number 19, Arizona State, 27-17. BYU 3-0. Arizona State 2-1. Number 14, Iowa State over UNLV, 48-3. Iowa State 2-1. UNLV 0-3. And Fresno State upsets number 13, UCLA, 40-37. Fresno 3-1. UCLA 2-1. Alrighty, now we'll do Major League Baseball from the weekend, and we will look ahead to the games for tonight. We'll start with Friday. Yanks over the Indians 8-0. Rocks over the Nats 9-8. Twins over the Jays 7-3. Sox over the Orioles 7-1. Rays over the Tigers 7-4 and 10 on a walk-off 3-run homer by Brett Phillips. Reds over the Dodgers 3-1. Phils over the Mets 4-3. Pirates over the Marlins 2-1. White Sox over the Rangers 8-0. Astros over the D-backs 4-3 on a walk-off hit by pitch as Chas McCormick was plunked. Brewers over the Cubs 8-5. Mariners over the Royals 6-2. Pods lose against the Cards 8-2. Angels over the A's 5-4. And Giants over the Braves 6-5 and 11 on a walk-off sac fly by Kevin Gausman. Saturday, Indians over the Yankees 11-3. Red Sox over the O's 9-3. Dodgers over the Reds 5-1. Blue Jays over the Twins 6-2. Rocks over the Nats 3-0. Tigers over the Rays 4-3. Pirates over the Marlins 6-3. Rangers over the White Sox 2-1. D-backs over the Astros 6-4 and 10. Royals over the Mariners 8-1. Brewers over the Cubs 6-4. Phils over the Mets 5-3. Cards over the Pods 3-2. Giants over the Braves 2-0. A's over the Angels 3-1. And then Sunday, Indians over the Yanks 11-1. Nats over the Rocks 3-0. Jays over the Twins 5-3. Red Sox over the O's 8-6. Tigers over the Rays 2-0. Dodgers over the Reds 8-5. Marlins over the Pirates 6-5 and 10 on a walk-off homer by Lewin Diaz. Astros over the D-backs 7-6. Cubs over the Brewers 6-4. Mariners over the Royals 7-1. Cards over the Pirates 8-7. White Sox over the Tigers 7-2. Braves over the Giants 3-0. Angels lose at home against the A's 3-2 and 10. And the Mets over the Phils 3-2 on Sunday Night Baseball. All right, a lot of games for a Monday. 4 o'clock, doubleheader game 1, the Royals and the Indians. Brady Singer, Tristan McKenzie. No lineup for this game. But if the total's anything less than 7, give me the over. 6:30, White Sox, Tigers. Carlos Rodon, Matt Manning. White Sox minus 235, Tigers plus 194, over under 8.5. Overs minus 120, others minus 102. White Sox minus 1F is minus 152. Tigers plus 1F is plus 126. I'm going to go Tigers run line. Rodon has been really good, but I think that the Tigers can keep this competitive. Maybe they win the game. Pirates Reds. Dylan Peters and Vlad Gutierrez. Reds minus 174, Pirates plus 146, over under 9. Overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Pirates plus 1F is minus 134. Reds minus 1F is plus 112. I'm going under 9 minus 102. Nats Marlins. Eric Feed, Jesus Luzardo. Nats minus 104, Marlins minus 112, over under 8. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Nats minus 1F is plus 150. Marlins plus 1F is minus 182. I'm going over 8 minus 114. 7 o'clock, Orioles Phils. John Means and Ranger Suarez. Phils minus 210, Orioles plus 176, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Orioles plus 1F is minus 118. Phils minus 1F is minus 102. I will go with the O's straight up. I think John Means is really good. So plus 176 for the O's. Rangers Yankees. Nestor Cortez and AJ Alexei. Yanks minus 290. Rangers plus 235, over under 9. Overs minus 118, others minus 104. Rangers plus 1F is plus 122. Yankees minus 1F is minus 146. I'm going to go with the... I'm going with the under. Cortez has been really good, and Alexei hasn't been bad either. So I'm going under 9 minus 104. Maybe the Yankees win like 6-2 or something like that. Blue Jays Rays. Robbie Ray and Shane Baz. Shane Baz making his debut for Tampa. Blue Jays minus 130. Rays plus 110. Over under 8. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Blue Jays minus 1F is plus 126. Rays plus 1F is minus 152. I'm going under 8 minus 106. Doubleheader game 2. Royals Indians. We don't know who's pitching yet for this game. Cards Brewers, Jake Woodford and Freddie Peralta. Brewers minus 235 or 225. Cards plus 188. Over under 8. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Cardinals plus 1F is minus 115. Brewers minus 1F is minus 104. The Brewers, I don't think have clinched yet their division. They've clinched a playoff berth. They have not clinched the division yet. And the Cards aren't catching them. But I think that the Cards are going to win tonight. They're going for that second wild card, plus 188. Going with the Cardinals outright. 9:30, Astros Angels. Framber Valdez, Jaime Barria. Astros minus 220. Angels plus 184 over under 9. Minus 110 each way. Astros minus 1F is minus 146. Angels plus 1F is plus 122. I'm going over 9 minus 110. Braves D-backs. Huascar Ynoa, Humberto Mejia. Braves minus 188. D-backs plus 158. Over under 9. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Braves minus 1F is minus 115. D-backs plus 1F is minus 104. Tough one, but I'm going to go with the Braves run line minus 115. Minus 1.5. And then last but not least, the Mariners and the A's. Tyler Anderson, Sean Manaea. Mariners plus 140, A's minus 166, over under 8. Overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 142. A's minus 1.5 is plus 115. I am going to go over 8 at minus 106. All right, now I'm going to recap the WNBA from the weekend. The playoffs are going to begin on Thursday. So maybe I'll try to get Jeff Maggs on the show somehow. Maybe Thursday evening or something like that. I'm going to see what I can do to swing Maggs before the WNBA playoffs here. All right, Friday, the Lynx over to Fever 92-73, Liberty over to Mystics 90-81, or 91-80, Aces over to Sky 103-70, Storm over to Mercury 94-85. And then Sunday, the Sun over to Dream 84-74 or 84-64, Aces over to Mercury 84-83, Lynx over to Mystics 83-77, Wings over to Sparks 87-84, and the Sky over to Fever 98-87. So the team that ended up clinching the last playoff spot was the New York Liberty, getting that big win on Friday over the Mystics. And the Mystics lost at home to the Lynx. And the Sparks wound up losing against Dallas, who's the 7th seed. Because if they lost, no, they still would have been 7. But good for the Liberty making the postseason. Big second half for Sabrina Ionescu after a slow first half. Natasha Howard's been brilliant. So congrats to them despite their 12-20 record or in the postseason. But yeah, we will preview and pick all the games on the Thursday podcast. All right, Major League Soccer from the weekend. We will recap all the action. All right, so Friday night, Red Bulls over Miami 4-0. Saturday, Atlanta over DC United 3-2. New England and Columbus 1-1 draw. NYCFC over Cincinnati 2-1. Toronto over Nashville 2-1. San Jose over Austin 4-3. Minnesota over the LA Galaxy 3-0. Houston over Dallas 3-2. And Salt Lake over Seattle 1-0. And yesterday, Club Football Montreal over Chicago 2-0. Philly over Orlando 3-1. Portland over LAFC 2-1. And Colorado and Vancouver 1-1 draw. All right, now I'm going to get into golf and go over the results from the tournament this past weekend, which was the Fortinet Championship. And your winner with a score of 19 under, Max Homa Second, 18 under, Maverick McNeely. Third, 16 under, Mito Pereira. Tied for fourth, 15 under, Taylor Gooch and Mark Leishman. Tied for sixth with 13 under, Patrick Rogers, Scott Stallings, John Augenstein, and Hideki Matsuyama, and Cheng Sung Pan. Tied for 11th with 12 under, Siwoo Kim, Walter Zalatoris, Scott Piercy, Austin Cook, and Jim Noss. Tied for 16th with 11 under, Harold Varner III, Mark Hubbard, Nate Lashley, Troy Merritt, Bu Hostler, and Bronson Bergen. Tied for 22nd with 10 under, Brendan Todd, Camp Triangle, Peter Malnati, Dewey Vanderwall, David Lipsky, and Charlie Hoffman. Tied for 28th with 9 under, Phil Kazir and Ches Rivet, or Patton Kazir. Tied for 30th with 8 under, Adam Putnam, Webb Simpson, Wyndham Clark, Grayson Sigg, Nick Watney, and Kevin Tway. Tied for 36 with 7 under, Phil Mickelson, Taylor Hogue, Nick Hardy, Matt Kuchar, Aaron Baddeley, and Taylor Pendrith. Tied for 42nd with 6 under, Brendan Steele, Paul Barjan, Jason Duffner, Joachim Herman, and Joseph Brumlett. Now I'm just going to go through notables. Tied for 51st with 4 under, Luke List, Matthew Neesmith, Adam Schenk. Tied for 58th with 3 under, Russell Knox, Sam Ryder, Vincent Taylor. Tied for 66 with 1 under, Lucas Griffin. Tied for 66 and 1 under as well, Michael Gigwick. Tied for 69th and even, Michael Thompson. Among notables cut, J.J. Spawn, J.B. Holmes, Adam Long, Bo Van Pelt, Doc Redmond, Tyler Duncan, Brant Snecker, Charles Howell III, John Rahm, Adam Hadwin, Kevin Ventura, Emiliano Grillo, Cam Champ, Doug Gim, Pat Perez, Dylan McCarthy, Danny Lee, DJ Tran, Seb Straka, Sebastian Munoz, and Dylan Fratelli, if I didn't mention him. So those are a lot of notables cut from this tournament. Now I'm going to go over the results from NASCAR from the weekend. I will start with Xfinity. And the winner of the race from Bristol, A.J. Allmendinger. So congratulations to him. Second, Austin Cindric. Third, Riley Herbst. Fourth, Justin Allgaier. Fifth, Brendan Jones. Sixth, Justin Haley. Seventh, Harrison Burton. Eighth, Matt Snyder. Ninth, Sam Meyer. 10th, Daniel Hemrick. The rest, Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson, Jeremy Clements, Brendan Brown, Ty Dillon, Sage Karam, Joe Graf Jr., Greg Golding, Alex Labb, Josh Williams, Brendan Godovic, Stefan Parsons, Tommy Joe Martins, Jeb Burton, Jeffrey Earnhardt, BJ McLeod, Jay Buford, Jesse Little, Kyle Weatherman, David Starr, Spencer Boyd, Carson Ware, Chad Fincher, Brian Sieg, Josh Berry, Matt Mills, Ryan Vargas, Bailey Curley, Landon Castle, Brett Moffitt. And now the Cup Series results from Bristol. And your winner of the Brass Pro Shops Night Race, Kyle Larson. Second, Kevin Harvick. Third, William Byron. Fourth, Ryan Blaney. Fifth, Alex Bowman. Sixth, Brad Keselowski. Seventh, Martin Truex Jr. Eighth, Eric Jones. Ninth, Denny Hamlin. 10th, Matt DiBizzetto. The rest, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chasen, Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch, who was my pick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Chase Boucher, Michael McDowell, Chase Elliott, Corey LaJoie, J.J. Yaley, Cole Custer, Chris Bell, Garrett Smithley, Josh Bleakey, David Starr, James Davison, Quinn Half, Anthony Alfredo, Justin Haley, B.J. McLeod, and Ryan Newman. Alrighty, now we'll do news and notes. I'm going to do this before Dancing with the Stars, just because Dancing with the Stars is starting tonight. So the big story from the weekend, very sad news. This is something I really haven't touched on the podcast, and this story's become a huge national story. Gabby Petito was a young girl who went missing on a cross-country road trip with her fiance, Brian Laundrie. And yesterday, it was determined that Gabby's remains were found in Wyoming. And police say that it was consistent with the description of Gabby. Just awful. And thoughts and prayers go out to Gabby's family and friends. And now they're doing a autopsy in Wyoming. And Petito's brother calls for justice. And so obviously I just mentioned how she went missing. And I think that Brian Laundrie, I think, is hiding. I think that that's just how I feel. And it's just very suspicious that he came home to Florida without her. And apparently there's no plans for a major search of Florida Park or Laundrie. And police believe that they've exhausted all avenues there. So I think this story is far from over. I'm interested to see the Laundrie part of it, if he's found or anything. And the more we have on the story, obviously we'll talk about it on the show. But it's just very, very sad. And this obviously was the biggest story to come out from the weekend. Laviska Shenault to have MRI on his shoulder after suffering the injury against the Broncos. Brandon Graham done for the season after tearing his Achilles. Big loss on the Eagles' defense right there. Tua Tagovailoa rib injury, so he did not return in that Dolphins game. Taylor Lewan didn't play yesterday for Tennessee, but Tennessee somehow won. Jarvis Landry did not return to the game against the Texans due to a knee injury. TJ Watt was ruled out of Pittsburgh's game yesterday with the groin injury. And that was unfortunate. That arguably came back to haunt the Steelers, although their offense was just putrid. Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. had a huge blow-up. We talked about it on the podcast, I believe, on Friday. And there's more to this Padres collapse. And then the manager's on the hot seat after this collapse, and rightfully so, Jace Tingler. So we'll see what happens with this Padres thing. And do these two superstars stay together in 2022 is the question. LeBron James and Magic Johnson spotted at the Chargers-Cowboys game. Not surprising. LeBron's a Cowboys fan, so that's not surprising. Fresno State trolls UCLA as the Bulldogs' Twitter account posts some parting words after the big upset win. Giants first-round pick wide receiver Kadarius Toney posted a very cryptic Instagram message. He says, "Shit just gotta be lame to me," after not catching a pass on Thursday Night Football. And Giants starting center Nick Gates was shown walking after fracturing his leg against Washington. So that's good to see. Hyunjin Ryu placed on the injured list with a strained neck. That is a big loss for the Blue Jays. And if they don't make the playoffs, they can point to this certainly. Because Ryu's their ace. Although Robbie Ray's in the running for the AL Cy Young and will probably win it with Garrett Cole getting rocked yesterday. So, big loss for Toronto. And Taylor Sacato recalled in his place. Jesse Winker left the game on Friday night after being hit by a pitch and had just returned from the 10-day injured list for a rib injury. Peyton Manning eyeing Broncos ownership as he's closely watching the ownership situation in Denver and could be involved if they are sold. That would be really, really interesting. Like, I've said on the podcast several times about how iconic players really shouldn't get into coaching or front office or owning a team because that could end up not sitting well with fan bases if things go poorly, especially if it's this situation right here with Manning and the Broncos. Although Manning's a Colt at heart, he went into the Hall of Fame as a Colt. And Manning obviously played a couple years in Denver, so he has loyalty to them as well. But those fans love him. He took them to 2 Super Bowls, won once, won an MVP with Denver. So, we'll see how that unfolds. That's just very fascinating. And then, obviously, the players, former players as owners, things like Jeter and the Marlins really haven't been good since Jeter's been there. Michael Jordan and the Hornets, not relevant since he's been there, really. But the best case scenario for Peyton, if he gets into this, is one that I don't think could really be topped, and that's Mario Lemieux with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They won a couple cups with Mario as a team owner. So that's the best case scenario of a iconic player owning a team or part owning a team and winning being involved. So I'd be very interested in that one. The Buccaneers are eyeing Richard Sherman to bolster their secondary. That'd be a nice fit there, by the way. The Philadelphia Eagles extend Josh Sweat 3 years, $40 million. So that's a nice contract for Josh Sweat. Manny Pacquiao to run for Philippine presidency in 2022. So that's pretty cool. Mike Wright suspended 3 games for hitting Shohei Ohtani with the pitch in the 9th inning on Thursday. Joey Gallo had neck tightness in the Yankees game on Saturday afternoon against Cleveland. Eric Gordon opened the trade. Hasn't asked, but is open to moving to a more favorable situation. I think he is going to be traded at some point within the next probably 6 months or so. Listen to this absurd high school football comeback. Bishop Gorman had a 24-7 lead with 70 seconds left in the game. And then Hamilton High School scored 18 unanswered points, which is just very surreal. And then the last one, a marriage proposal gone wrong, as a New York Liberty fan had a failed proposal it got caught on the Jumbotron. Yikes, man. If you haven't seen this, go check it out on Bleacher Report. Before Best Bet, I want to get into Dancing with the Stars, as that begins tonight, 8 o'clock on ABC. I like the cast this year. And so Tyra Banks returning as host, Len Goodman, Derek Ho, Carrie-Ann Inaba, and Bruno Tonioli back as judges. And then new professional dancers, Sofia Gavami and Ezra Sosa, will be joining the show as professional dancers. And celebrities, Jimmy Allen, he's a country singer, Melanie C. of the Spice Girls, Christine Chiu of Bling Empire, Brian Austin Green of Masked Dancer, and he's an actor, Melora Hardin, actress, Olivia Jade, that's obviously the daughter of Lori Loughlin, so that's really cool. Matt James of The Bachelor, Amanda Klutz of The Talk, Martin Kove, actor, Suni Lee, the Olympic gymnast, Mike The Miz Mizanin of WWE, Kenya Moore, TV star and model, Cody Rigsby, fitness personality and Peloton instructor, former NBA shooting guard Amon Shumpert, and JoJo Siwa, who we all know from Dance Moms and is a big YouTube personality and singer. And one more interesting note of this season, for the first time in series history, a same-sex partnership will be featured among the competing couples. So that is really interesting. That comes after JoJo Siwa announced herself as pansexual several months ago. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I'm just going to double down on the last pick of my Fab 5 for the week and go over 48.5 in the Packers-Lions game. I'm going to lay 2 units on it, so over 48.5 between the Lions and the Packers. All right, so there you have it for the show today. I'll be back on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, recapping everything that goes on today, and I'll look ahead to tomorrow as well. That includes Dancing with the Stars, and news and notes, and my best bet. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, everyone.